Saturday night means soccer night in Canada from the Ontario Soccer Centre in Vaughan. An all-Canadian matchup between Toronto FC2 and the Ottawa Fury. MLS is on an international bye week, so Ben Spencer is here to get in some minutes. Mark Pace making his second consecutive start in goal. We'll be joined by Tsubasa Endo here as well. Hello everyone, welcome inside. Matt Nicolantonio here with Terry Dunfield back from his own personal vacation working with the first club last week. It's an all-Canadian matchup, as I mentioned, and Toronto looking to rebound from a couple of high-scoring losses over the last couple of weeks, and they've brought in some firepower of their own. Tsubasa Endo is here tonight. Yeah, Tsubasa Endo comes into the team. He was a little bit unlucky not to play midweek against Orlando in the 3-1 game. A couple of last-minute injuries meant he didn't play, but since he's come down and played for TFC2, he's been excellent. Mentally, he's been prepared for the game. That's the biggest thing for him. Technically, physically, this level is no problem for him. Mentally, he's switched on. He'll be ready, and he'll be a force for TFC going forward. And he's showing a little bit of leadership, which I like for TFC2 at the moment. Yeah, he scored a beautiful goal last month when he was here. On the other side, we're going to highlight Ryan Williams, second on the team with 3 goals. I like him. I've seen him play for the first team, actually against TFC's first team in the Canadian Championship semi-finals. Scored a goal in the first leg, a penalty. Plays with a ton of energy, two-way midfielder. Sometimes can play out on the wing. Excellent set-piece delivery. Rarely gives it away and works hard off the ball. Ottawa, the only team to play both TFC and TFC2, and tonight they'll be going up against this lineup. Dante Campbell making a second consecutive start. Julian Dunn, his first start with the club. Luca Uccello, Endo, and Spencer up front for Jason Bent's side. And here's how Ottawa lines it up. Callum Irving making his 20th consecutive start, and big Steven Dos Santos, formerly of the Rochester Rhinos, will be the attacking force for the Fury this evening. Absolutely gorgeous evening here at the Ontario Soccer Centre. One of 2 Toronto-Ottawa matchups tonight. The Argonauts are in Ottawa taking on the Red Blacks. Kickoff is next here in Toronto. Welcome back to Toronto. We are moments away from kickoff between the Young Reds and the Ottawa Fury. TFC2 looking to snap a short 2-game losing streak, led by their manager Jason Bent, who was a little bit frustrated after the loss last week, conceding 4 goals. Even though they scored 3, he said when you score 3 at home, you expect to win, and unfortunately, they were not able to do so. He will be opposed by Paul Dalglish, leading Ottawa Fury who have been in existence since 2014 when they were in the NASL. This is their first season in the USL. Second of 3 meetings between these two clubs this season. The first was back on April 22nd. It was Ottawa's home opener. They played to a 0-0 draw. Angelo Cavalluzzo was named to the bench of the USL Team of the Week for his 6-save performance on that night. Terry, it was really a game that Ottawa carried the momentum throughout. So what do we expect from them as the visitors here tonight?
They're a big, strong, physical team. They go from back to front very quickly. They try to get into their front three. Big fella DeSantos up top. He's a handful. Cape Verde international. I thought in the first game where it was 0-0, TFC just struggled to create opportunities. I think that's something Jason Bento wants his team to improve on tonight.
Toronto, for the second straight game, will be going from left to right to start. They are in the all-red kits, so you see Ottawa very sharp-looking white and black with some red trim.
Yeah, just a little bit of controversy. Eddie Edward, the fullback for the Ottawa Fury. Just a few question marks whether he can wear the white Under Armour underneath. No problems. The ref, David Berry's happy to let him proceed.
That white, black, and red uniform consistent with the other in the city. We know the Ottawa Red Blacks, who are hosting the Argos tonight, as I mentioned, and the Ottawa Senators, all using the same uniform color scheme. Our referee tonight is David Berry. The assistants, Peter Pendley and Graham Forsyth. Yusri Rudolph, who was the referee last week for Toronto's game against Harrisburg City. He is the 4th official tonight.
Interesting to see Jason Bent. Looks like he's going to carry on with the 3-4-3 system. Most of the season they've been playing a 3-5-2 system similar to the first team. It seems in this system, this probably suits the group a little bit better. They are creating more opportunities, but now that they're scoring goals, conceding 4, they need to try to stop that. That's
Captain Mitch Tainter. He's playing center back tonight, normally out on the right side, but Brandon Aubrey on the bench this evening. So Tainter will slide into the middle, and young Julian Dunn, just 16 years of age. He'll turn 17 on Tuesday. In his second appearance, his first start, he wears number 52. He's on that right back.
Yes, I'm looking forward to seeing Dunn play today. Under 17 Canadian international, progress through the academy, real athletic center half, and I don't think anything will phase him. I think he's ready for it today. On the left-hand side, Boskovic, I think he's been excellent coming into the side. For a young player, he's been very consistent.
And another matchup to keep an eye on. Let's call it the Soup Bowl. On the right side, it's Dante Campbell for Toronto in his second start. Andre Campbell is the left back for Ottawa, and they'll be going at each other all evening.
Well played, Matt. You couldn't wait to get that one out.
I just thought of it.
Another academy product, Donte Campbell, hasn't played much at the USL level. I thought he was excellent last week. Real hard-working midfielder. He's very versatile. He can play at right back or in midfield. Consistent. Won't give the ball away, and he really will put a shift in for the team. I was impressed with the other Campbell, left back for the Ottawa Fury in the Canadian Championship semi-final against the first team. I thought he was excellent over the 2 legs.
It's a long ball looking to find Uccello, and he's bumped away there by Edward and collected by keeper Callum Irving. This is his 20th consecutive start for the Fury across all competitions this year. He has played in now all 16 USL games for Ottawa. And glad to see Mark Pace back in for Toronto. A little bit of rough luck for him. Not quite sure the 4 goals against on the scoreline last week really does justice to the performance that he put in. Of course, we had an own goal, another rebound goal, a brilliant cross by Ribeiro for the second goal, and Ribeiro on the free kick on the first goal that Pace nearly got to.
If I'm honest, I thought Matty could have done a little bit better on the first one, the free kick against Harrisburg, but I do like him.
He'll probably want that one back.
Yeah, I like him. He's got a presence back there. He's a real positive keeper, big unit.
And I guess Jason Bent perhaps rewarding him for the tough luck on the stat sheet of the 4 goals conceded, and want to get a better look at what he's got.
A little bit of that, and I think we've seen a pattern over the season that whether it's Cavalluzzo or Pace, whoever comes into the team are going to get 2, 3, 4 games, a run of games, so they can find a little bit of continuity and consistency.
And he was the man who was tapped to be the starter for this club. We talked about it last week while you were away, that he didn't really get a run of games at the beginning of the season because of the injury to Clint Irwin, and he had to go up and back up Alex Bono with the first team, and he went about 6 weeks without any game action, so hasn't played a ton. He started the first 2 games of the year for TFC2, and then tonight, just his 7th appearance, 2 clean sheets out of 6.
Brings a little bit of experience to a real young team as well. He knows the level was extremely well, which is important. I was impressed with him in the first game of the season in the 1-0 win in Arizona.
There's Ben Spencer providing some pressure. Comes to Edward. Get to Spencer in a moment as that's deflected off the head of Donte Campbell. Brian James plays for Uccello. Named a reserve for the USL Team of the Week after his 1 goal, 1 assist performance last week against Harrisburg City. An absolutely gorgeous assist on Mitch Tainer's first of the year on that free kick.
Yeah, he's got good delivery from set pieces. Doesn't always get to take it. I'd be surprised if Endo lets him take any of the set pieces, but a real industrious player, will get up and down, always put in 100% for the team and for his gaffer, Jason Bent.
Long ball looking for Dos Santos, headed forward by Tainter. There's a strike right to pace, that off the foot of Ryan Williams.
There's a great example of what we're going to see from the Ottawa Fury tonight. They go direct front to back very quickly, goes into the big fella up top to Santos, and Ryan Williams does well to pick up a second ball and get an early shot off.
Tainter for Endo. Endo plays through the middle for Brian James. Has Campbell on the right side. Delivers it and takes it back. Here's Spencer. Trying to switch for Telfer. Pass never got there, and a quick counter by Ottawa. Here's Dos Santos off the feed from Dixon. Onto the near side for Howarth. Howarth, backheel flick, finds Bruna. And not sure if he was looking for Dixon running through there, but it's an easy save for Mark Pace.
Yeah, I think he was looking for a cross there. Great overlap from Bruna. Campbell has to track him there. Nice interplay between him and Howarth.
Long ball up looking for Spencer. Wind is blowing into the face of Toronto in this first half, which is the opposite of what we had last week. Toronto was going this direction and the wind was at their back to start. Telfer, Boscovich, Brian James, Liam Fraser, one of 5 Canadians in the lineup for Toronto. Ottawa sporting 3. 3 Canadian born, and a 4th Howarth, born in Southport in England, who plays for Canada. Jamar Dixon, Eddie Edward, both Ottawa natives, and Callum Irving from Vancouver.
Sorry to interrupt you there, Matt. Ottawa look very well organized defensively. Once they lose possession, they drop back into their shape. In possession, it's a 3-5-2. Out of possession, it's almost a 5-3-2. Look very compact.
Dante receives a bump from Andre there as the 2 Campbells come together. And a free kick, 1 for Toronto.
It's going to be important tonight for TFC2 that when they're in possession, that the back 3 are switched on mentally, because once Ottawa do win possession, they're going to look to hit TFC on the break very quickly. There's a ton of pace in the team with Campbell on the right-hand side, Williams and Dixon as well.
The Ultras are here tonight for Toronto.
Yeah, it's
international bye week for MLS, so got some time on their hands.
Yeah, hopefully this will give the young squad a little bit of a lift. Wonderful support in the city, not only for the first team, but also TFC2.
Boscovich plays forward for Telfer. 1-touch pass there into no man's land, and it's intercepted by Ottawa. Played in for Dos Santos. Has Howarth. Instead comes for Dixon. Now Howarth. That's Roseboom. A pass deflected by Endo, cleared by Telfer. Del Campo. Push forward in the direction of Williams. And cleared by Toronto.
Yeah, Mitch Tainter does well there. Just to track the run of Ryan Williams. He made a nice run from deep into the channel. It's very condensed in the middle of the park. I think TFC2 are going to have a little bit more joy if they can try to play out wide, try to create overloads, isolate some of their wide players.
Deep throw for Ottawa, headed away by Julian Dunn. Roseboom. Played in again for Roseboom, still with it. Trying to cross in for Dos Santos, and it takes a deflection and out for a corner, the first of the night coming to Ottawa.
Great defensive header from Julian Dunn. That'll be great for his confidence making his debut tonight, or his first full start. Roseboom's so good at picking up those second balls in the midfield for the Ottawa Fury. Plays a 1-2, and Mitch Tainter does well to come over in that sweeper role just to track him, and ends up conceding a corner.
Carl Howarth and Gerardo Bruna both in there. It's Howarth who will swing it in. Headed away. Comes down. It takes a deflection. And that's out for another corner. It was Williams who got the strike.
Yeah, beautiful strike from Ryan Williams. Times it perfectly. Just catches it on the half volley, deflects off, and Tainter goes out for a corner kick. Difficult technique on this tough surface.
Well, once again, we'll see Howarth and Bruna. Now Howarth leaves the area. Bruna swings it in with the left foot, headed away. Here's Campbell. Plays in for Dixon. Dixon around Frazier, crossed, and that's Tainter who got there. Made the interception and then drew the foul as well.
Tainter again reading the game extremely well. Liam Frazier needs to get a little bit lower, gets beat too easily in the 1v1 situation. Fortunately, he's got the captain, Mitch Tainter, in supporting him behind.
Cello in pursuit. Irving sends that down the pitch. Out for Toronto throw. And Campbell being motioned back by referee David Barry. Back even further still. And now they've found an acceptable spot. James for Spencer. Campbell, the swarm of white jerseys around the ball. Ottawa defending well. Campbell, James, trying to pull it out of this pocket. Does so by finding Frazier, who will send it over to Boscovich. Endo.
I'd like to see Boscovich just go wide. Telford created a good angle, just tries to force it inside to Endo. A lot of bodies in the middle of the park in that direct game channel. It's important that Ben Spencer stays high as well. Tries to just stretch the Ottawa Fury a little bit, create a little bit of room for Endo and Uccello to operate in.
Uccello whistled there, the bump.
It's not his natural game, Matt. Ben Spencer loves to come to feet, look to link up plays, very good at that, but also at sometimes he just needs a little bit of awareness to play a little bit deeper, try to play on the center half shoulder, look to be a threat in behind. That's where you're going to get your goals, and as I touched on before, create space for others to play in.
McElhaney.
It's been a tough road. Sorry, it's been a tough road for Ben Spencer coming back from knee injuries. We've discussed it before. Just needs that goal for his confidence. It would be huge.
Last time he played with TFC2, all the way back on June 10th against Pittsburgh, and nearly had that goal. Hit the crossbar in injury time.
What I will say, in his last couple of appearances, he's getting in the right spaces. He's getting opportunities. He just needs that little bit of composure, that last little bit of his rehab to get that timing right.
There's an opportunity, and two Ottawa players come together. Ryan Williams and Donte Campbell both strike the ball simultaneously, and it rolls harmlessly into the hands of Mark Pace.
Good ball through the lines from Roseboom. Howard finds a little bit of space, and watch this ball from him. Just a little reverse pass through the legs of Dunn. And unfortunately, the two defenders for the the two attackers for the Ottawa Fury just get in each other's way.
And perhaps a break there for Toronto. Zuccello now will try to find Campbell. Instead finds Eddie Edward.
Eddie Edward, he's normally a right back. Used to play for FC Edmonton, now playing on the left side. Right footer playing left back.
Roseboom plays up for Bruna. Bruna trying to run onto it, not able to get there.
Covers a lot of ground in the middle of the park, Captain Roseboom. Doesn't have the best range of passing as we saw there. Could have opened up and gone the other way, but real leader. Drives the team forward from midfield. Loves a tackle.
Cello takes a tumble there on account of the left foot of Gerardo Bruna. Gives him a playful pat on the head and apology.
I thought Uccello did really well there, just to use his body, get it in between Bruno's and the ball. Draw the foul.
Luca Uccello, classic example. Not the most talented guy on the park, but you're never going to find someone who outworks him.
Yeah, good point, Matt. He really works his socks off. Probably the one thing he's lacking is one attribute that's really another level that you can say, yeah, he's going to get you 15 goals a year. He's going to set up 10 goals, or he's going to win a ton of tackles. He's sort of, for me, good at everything. He just doesn't excel at one thing, not to be too negative.
Jack of all trades and a master of none, as they say.
But what I will say, he's the type of player that your teammates love to play with. You know exactly what you're going to get from him every game, and coaches love that as well.
We're approaching a quarter of an hour here, scoreless at the Ontario Soccer Centre between Toronto and Ottawa. Second of 3 all-Canadian matchups. Fans, stay up to date on the latest USL news and information from around the league. Tune in to USL Coast to Coast with Mike Watts, Mondays at 9 p.m. Eastern on Sirius XM, FC Channel 85. Don't forget, they'll also air the USL Game of the Week. Check uslsoccer.com for dates and times. Spencer whistled for the foul there. The wind doesn't feel that strong, but it looks like it is causing some problems with those balls high in the air.
Yeah, Dunn just tried to play that ball into the channel. It was a good run from Spencer. Tries to get in behind Ottawa. It just held up in the wind there.
Ottawa in their first season as the affiliate for Montreal. FC Montreal was the affiliate last year, and we saw the 401 derby between Toronto and Montreal. Now it's Toronto and Ottawa. Here's Dunn. In for Uccello. Back for James. Quickly to Frazier. Over for Telfer. Telfer tries to cross. It's blocked by Dixon, and nearly a counter for Ottawa, but Toronto steals back.
It was good defending from Dixon, but just before that, the ball movement was excellent. TFC moved the ball, the balance, the distances right through midfield, moved it quickly to the other side of the pitch, which isolated Telfer in a nice little one-on-one situation, but couldn't get past Dixon.
James. Spencer. Good job there. Good tackle from Shane McElhaney.
I thought it was a foul.
So did Ben Spencer.
Yeah, it was great link-up play from him. Plays a nice little 1-2 around Williams in the middle of the park. And for me, I thought he just nicked it past McElhaney to draw the foul. He just used it. McElhaney catches him with his body. I'm surprised the referee, David Barry, didn't give it.
Get a quick look while we await the corner.
Watch this little ball around the corner, speeds the tempo up, gets away from Williams, and he just nicks it ahead of McElhaney. McElhaney doesn't get any of the ball. Enough contact for me for it to be a foul in a very dangerous area.
Another two-man setup there for Ottawa, and now it's swung in by Howarth, punched away. And Campbell will play it safe and send it out for another corner. Didn't realize that he had a lot more time and space than he realized. Could have pulled that down and cleared it. Instead, elects to send it out for another corner.
Good point. He needed a shout from one of his mates. He was a little bit disorientated there, but just before that, I thought Pays did really well to punch it away.
Nearly the same spot it's delivered to. Rosebloom can't get a touch to it. And Uccello wins the foul.
Another unnecessary foul from Bruna. Uccello wasn't going anywhere. They had a 2v1 there. Ben Spencer just down, might have taken a knock on the corner kick. Good goalkeeping from Pays. It's not easy with Big Dos Santos right on his toes on that first one that was that in-swinger that was really whipped in at him with pace. Doesn't take any chances, punches it, doesn't try to catch it. I think it's important today. Obviously, a performance for TFC2 is important, but I think a result tonight would be crucial with a couple of tough away games coming up. They go to New York Red Bulls 2, Rochester, and then again they'll play Ottawa. You need to pick up points at home, Matt. So important.
As the host side this season, just 1-3-3. 1 win, 2 losses, and 3 draws here at Ontario Soccer Centre. Of course, the additional loss coming at BMO Field, the first of 2 contests there this season. Campbell runs onto it on the left side. Working against Uccello. Campbell in there to support. Headed away by Tainter. Comes down for Williams. This shot is blocked. Rolls to Endo. And with the assistance of Brian James, Toronto will clear. James looking for some support. And finds it in the form of Dante Campbell. Now back to James. Endo chips forward for Telfer. Telfer attacking. Trying to find Endo on that far side. Endo slides, gets the ball back, and then lost it as he got to his feet.
Endo does excellent to try to make something out of nothing. I thought his run was great. It drew Ottawa players with him. Telfer should have just kept driving towards goal there.
Andre Campbell. Roseboom. Bruna. "20 minutes in here. Last week we had no goals in the first 20 minutes as well. Then an explosion before halftime. Soccer fans, Nike is an official sponsor of the USL. For more information, visit nikesoccer.com.
Good football from the youngster Dunn. Plays a little 1-2, just changes the picture, and huge confidence from him to ping a 40-yard diagonal there.
Brian James. Given away to Roseboom, but gets it back. Frazier, Dunn.
The direct game channel through the middle of the park, it's so tight. Ottawa are doing a very good job of just cutting out those passing lanes. TFC2 need to look to try to get it out wide.
Frazier, Endo. Tainter. Dunn. Campbell. James dispossessed by Roseboom. Dunn nutmegs Roseboom, but Bruna is able to send it up. Howarth has Dos Santos on the left. Dos Santos marked by Tainter. Back in for Howarth. Howarth unable to do anything with it, and he ends up running it out for a goal kick.
The Ottawa Fury did really well defensively with their shape. They just lured TFC2 into a false sense of security. Then all of a sudden in the middle of the park, Rosebroom pressed, and unfortunately Julian Dunn loses possession. And we spoke about it earlier in the broadcast, how good and how quick the Ottawa Fury are on the counter, and we just witnessed it there. Dunn does well to get back and just usher Howarth out for a goal kick.
Campbell trying to find Uccello, takes a deflection off Dante Campbell, or excuse me, off Andre Campbell. Ben Spencer, just realizing now he's wearing white and pink cleats tonight. Looks like Gerardo Bruna has the same pair on as well. Here's Endo. Brian James.
Here we go, that's better.
Campbell. Trying to play it off. Uccello. Does well there to knock it out.
Great repress from Dante Campbell. Does well to just get half a yard, and his pass into Uccello's not great. It's sort of into his mid-drift, but once he lost possession, great reaction to try and win the ball back.
Edward plays that back for his keeper.
At the moment, everything's in front of the Fury right now. I'd like to see TFC2. I know it's difficult. They're going into a bit of a tornado. It's really windy right now. They need to try to get in behind Ottawa.
Misstep there by Edward allows Uccello an opportunity, and Edward drags him down.
Yeah, I think it's more to do with the turf there, not Edward's quality. Just gets caught under his feet. Uccello does well to win the ball back.
Frazier. Spencer. Uccello. Thought Campbell was a little bit closer than he was as he played that into open space, and Campbell not able to run onto it.
Campbell probably should have been there, but Uccello just needs to check his shoulder. Realizes a little bit deeper. TFC2 get into a good area now.
James trying to cross in, no one there for Toronto.
James as well to get in behind there. He just took the wrong option, tried to fizz it across the near post. Ben Spencer made a good run to the back post.
There's Julian Dunn. Finds James. James again from that same spot, crossed again. Dunn all the way up. And he's won a corner as it takes a deflection off the goalkeeper, Irving.
Wonderful aggressive play from Dunn. Wins it, then carries his run onto the near post. Wasn't the best ball, just makes the most of it, earns his team a corner kick. Almost wanted it more than the Ottawa Fury player.
And a little bit surprisingly, it is Luca Uccello who's going to take the first set piece of the night for Toronto. You mentioned Tsubasa Endo is here, and he normally takes them when he is. Spencer brings it down, but not able to get a shot away. He was falling back as the ball landed on his right foot. Dante Campbell intercepts. And now Toronto will have to hurry back. Dante Campbell in there in pursuit. Endo defending as well. And now played back for pace. Bad luck there for Ben Spencer as he almost had a glorious opportunity. His body was just heading the wrong way.
Yeah, he was just coming back a little bit. Good point, Matt. It was a wonderful out-swinging ball from Uccello. He just got half a yard on McElhaney. And he tried to sort of swing at it. Maybe it might have been better trying to take a touch.
Telfer knocked down there by Dixon.
Better though from TFC2 down the right-hand side, getting a little bit of joy in between Campbell and Eddie Edward.
And they had some success there in the first half last week with Campbell, and then Harrisburg City sort of got wise to the game, and Dante Campbell was pretty much shut down in the second half. And that can sometimes be the case for a young player when the other team doesn't know a whole lot about you, and you maybe catch them off guard a little bit, and then they very quickly make the adjustment. And how difficult is it for a young player to make that adjustment back mid-game?
It can be. Tactically, they say, yeah, he's causing us a problem, and then he needs to bring something else out in his locker. I don't think Dante Campbell's a player who's going to explode past a player in a 1v1. He needs bodies. He needs players around him to play with.
Here's Dos Santos! Offside flag is up. Nearly an opening goal for Ottawa.
Oh, comes from Howarth again. Just dropping into a nice pocket in front of Mitch Tainter, in front of the back three of TFC2. Howarth here, watch, he picks it up in a nice little pocket here. Liam Fraser needs to get closer. Dunn steps up. It's difficult to tell from that angle whether he's offside 100%. Nice angled run from Dos Santos. Maybe looked half a yard offside.
And after that play, he looked to be holding his left knee and then limped away a little bit, and he's still hobbling around out there.
Yeah, he's struggling a little bit. From our angle up here, it's tough to tell whether he was offside. I looked down to the Ottawa Fury bench. Manager Paul Dalgleish and assistant Julian de Guzman weren't appealing.
Tries a through ball there for Telfer does Endo, and it's defended well. Yeah, you mentioned Julian de Guzman, an assistant coach for Ottawa, your former teammate with the Canadian national team and TFC, leads Canada all time with 83 caps.
Yes, good friend of mine as well. Had a wonderful career, played for Deportivo La Coruna. La Coruna was a player of the year one year, came back to his hometown TFC, captained the club, designated player, went back to Germany for a little bit. I was talking with Jason Bent yesterday. I had lunch with him, asked him whether he thought Julian de Guzman had the right mentality. Could he be a manager one day? He said, yeah, I think so. A real thinker, not too emotional. I think he's got it in him to sort of have a go at his players if need be, and he'll definitely be respected with the career he's had.
Another Campbell clash there as Dante knocks down Andre.
Yeah, it's been a good battle down this side. Both players are looking to get forward. Campbell for the Fury's got a ton of pace. Can go either way. He's happy trying to get to the byline to get crosses in or cutting inside on his right foot.
And now he's getting a talking to about carrying the ball away following his foul.
Yeah, a little bit of gamemanship, good management from him. Possibly something we lack in Canada. We're a little bit naive at times.
Too nice.
We give the ball back to them and say sorry.
How many times did you apologize?
I do have, I think, the record for yellow cards at TFC. So.
Do you really?
Yeah, it was always the ref's fault.
You're gonna have to look that up.
You need to verify me? You need
Absolutely.
to give me the check?
I'm a journalist, Terry. Fact checking.
I'm not saying I'm
throwing
proud
about
of it,
this
by the way.
information that's not true.
No.
Because then our viewers are going to start, you know, telling their friends this information. And whether you have the record or not, everyone's going to think you do. That's how rumors get started.
Can't believe you're fact-checking me on that.
Just over half an hour played. We are still scoreless here in Toronto. We thank you for joining us on this gorgeous Saturday night. Toronto and Ottawa have been opponents on Saturday night many times on Hockey Night in Canada. Tonight, Soccer Night in Canada in Toronto. Dos Santos whistled there.
You can see the midfielder number 10, Bruna. He's got a ton of quality. He can't be given time on the ball. He's got a wonderful range of passing, an excellent left foot. Just picks out Dos Santos' diagonal run in behind, and Mitch Tainter again tracks it perfectly and gets his body in between the ball and the player, draws the foul. He's not played a lot in that sweeper role that drew more plays for the first team for TFC2. I think he's been excellent so far tonight. Just covering his players, he's organizing it. A real leader back there. He's developing nicely with TFC2. He actually made his first team debut in the first leg of the Canadian Championship semifinal against Ottawa. A little bit unlucky to give a penalty away that day, the penalty that Williams scored.
Howarth motioning his teammates forward. Looks like they're going to try and get creative on the kick.
Here's another example of the Fury philosophy of getting the ball forward quick. They're dangerous on set pieces. They're a big side. A lot of USL teams here would look to try to build through, and they're whipping the ball into the box. Easily
handled there by Mark Pace. Scoreless through half an hour, and Jason Bent will have to be pleased at that. The defensive shape of the team so good through the first 14 games, conceding just 16 goals, but then 10 in their last 2.
I think for me, a little bit,
There's an opportunity, and Spencer not able to get the ball. Here's Campbell. Campbell will try and cross it, and he can't get to it, and it's out for a goal kick.
Telfer does really well on the byline there. Just sort of bundles his way through, just gets half a yard, uses his strength. He's a real direct player, uses his power, and then he just needs to pick out Spencer a little bit more quality, and Spencer has a tap in, just plays it in behind him. Just going back to your point, about how good TFC were defensively through the first part of the season, and I think that has a lot to do with the shape. They played a 3-5-2. They struggled to create chances going forward, but were very good defensively. And since changing to this 3-4-3 system, yes, they're creating more chances, but they're leaving themselves a little bit more exposed at the back. And there's been a couple mental lapses that it's difficult for a coach that you don't really fathom before a game if a player sort of makes a mistake, and that's something that he'll want his team to cut out. Jason Bent will want his team to cut out of their game.
Del Campo all the way back for Irving.
One player who caused the first team problems in that semi-final was a big boy, Tucker Hume, 6'4". He's on the bench today. Every time Irvin, he's got excellent distribution, got the ball straight into Tucker Hume, and they played off of him.
Endo trying to find Uccello, just a little bit ahead of him, and Edward is able to meet it. Boskovic.
Excellent play from Boskovic there. He's very comfortable on the ball, brings it out of the back. He gives you another option playing out of the back, sees that he's going down a little bit of a dark alley on that side. He's going into Ottawa numbers, cuts out. He's got the quality to do that and keeps TFC2 in possession.
Dos Santos heads forward. The pace there to meet it. Dos Santos, 2 goals in his last 3 games for Ottawa, so starting to find that scoring touch.
Yeah, he's a real handful. For a big man, he's got soft feet. At the moment, he's not had any opportunities so far. Credit to Mitch Tainer.
He's half a yard away from having his 3rd and 4.
I thought he was a real handful. Was it Rochester he was at before? The Ottawa Fury did well there.
And I believe Dante Campbell, he will be getting the first yellow card of the evening. Clash with Andre Campbell.
This time Dante Campbell has been drawn. He's going the other way. He has to defend here. We said that Campbell can go either way. Just shapes to cross it, sucks him in. Dante Campbell thinks he's going to cross it and just nicks it through his legs. Not sure it's a yellow card, definitely a foul.
TFC2, number 48, Donte Campbell.
Dante Campbell, the way he plays, he's really aggressive. He's all action. He won't want to be picking up an early yellow card. He's now has to walk the tightrope, as they say, for the next 55 minutes.
And that card might factor into the plans of Jason Benton, who he wants to use as substitutes here this evening. Bruna looked like he was ready to go. They fooled everybody with Howarth crossing over, and now Bruna sends it in. It's headed up, and Uccello heads it away. Long ball forward, off Dos Santos. That one high into the air and right back down.
Good idea from Ottawa there. Early ball into Dos Santos. Howarth's run was just a little bit too early. He just needs to time it a little bit better. Just delay your run, wait till it comes into Dos Santos, then make the run off of him.
One statistic that stood out to me, Terry. Ottawa last in the USL, completing just 68% of their passes. The first question, are you seeing that play out here tonight? Second question, why do you think that might be?
I think it's the way they play. They're a big physical team. We spoke about it a little bit already. They're direct. If they can get it into, whether it's Tucker Hume playing up top or Dos Santos and play off of him, I think that's their sort of philosophy. By doing that, you're going to make obviously less mistakes at the back, but you might not get the same quality into the big man, whether as you might building it up.
There's Campbell, crossed in for Bruna. His first shot is blocked by Frazier, and now out of frustration, he pulls down the Canadian defender.
probably the best move of the game for the Ottawa Fury. The ball comes into Dos Santos. It's a great run from Campbell from outside to in. Just gets in behind the back three. Watch it come into Dos Santos, uses his body, holds it up well with his soft feet. Just gets in behind Donte Campbell, cuts it back to Bruna, and he just loses his composure, takes a touch and then lashes at it. And then almost in frustration, just drags down Liam Fraser. I think he was disappointed with how the opportunity just passed him by. It was a great touch to just set himself up, but then you need to be a little bit clever there, whether you drop your shoulder or that little Cruyff he's got in the locker, just to create a little bit of space. He just loses his composure, Matt, for me.
Tainter, Uccello.
That's good 12 right there, thank you.
Eddie Edward. Dos Santos 4, 5, 6, 7 keep-ups in a row with the knee before half bicycle kick over his head. Dante Campbell not able to maneuver that as cleverly.
Brian James just needs to check his shoulder. He's caught ball watching a little bit. The movement of Howarth underneath is very good.
Howarth likes that back heel flick.
He does.
It's the second or third time we've seen it already in the opening 40 minutes.
Clever little player. Got good vision, got good awareness of players around him and where the space is. He's good too at taking the ball on the half turn, which is a difficult skill.
The USL is one of the most prominent second division professional leagues in the world, featuring some of the game's top talent and rising stars. Stay up to date with all the latest league news and information by visiting uslsoccer.com. Follow them on Twitter at USL. Campbell trying to power his way through two Ottawa defenders and wins the free kick.
He does well to win a free kick there. Uccello just dropped too deep for me. He was in the passing lane that Brian James was in. He needs to, I know he's more of a midfielder than a winger. He needs to stay higher there. Give Donte Campbell an option with a forward pass.
Uccello and Edward battling. Poked away there by Bruna. Campbell and Campbell off the right foot of Dante, out for an Ottawa throw. Terry, you mentioned the youthfulness of this Toronto side. Average age of the players in the starting 11 tonight, 21 years old for Toronto, and for Ottawa, 26.1.
Yeah, I'm not surprised by that stat, the 5 years. And to be honest, so far, I'm not really seeing that on the pitch. It's a credit to the young TFC2 team.
Dos Santos heads that over the bar.
As I say that, the Fury almost score.
Two numbers that skew that average age for Toronto. The 16 years old Julian Dunn, turning 17 on Tuesday, and 17 years old Dante Campbell. So two 17-year-olds in the lineup.
Good point. Just going back to that move from the Ottawa Fury, Dunn does really well, the 16-year-old, just to put Dos Santos off at the last minute. He just pulled off Tainter. Good movement from Dos Santos.
Pace with a diving save to his right. Off that corner kick from the Fury. Best chance of the night so far for either side.
Does really well there, Pace. Moves his feet to get across. Real athletic save. He's at full stretch there to stop Del Campo. It was a real good header from Del Campo off his back foot. Tough skill. Tough to get any power on. He just directs it to that far post, and with no player on the back post, Pace has to make that save or it's 1-0 for the Fury. Just going back to the age thing, Matt.
Ball pinballs around the Toronto penalty area. That's Ryan Williams for Bruna. Swings it in. Dos Santos with a header. Pace makes the save. Rebound comes loose, and Julian Dunn has to knock it out to touch.
Dunn does really well again to just follow that play, react to the rebound, and put it away. Great header downward from Dos Santos. Difficult one for Pace. It bounces just before him. Doesn't take any chances and pushes it away.
There's Howarth. Dos Santos trying to get to it with his right foot. And Pace not able to slide to it. And it's a corner. And Ottawa taking these throw-ins and set pieces with incredible quickness.
Yeah, Dante Campbell just on his heels a little bit. He needs to come out and give Uccello a hand. There was a 2v1 there.
That's knocked away, and it's another corner.
Ottawa just turning up the pressure a little bit. TFC2 need halftime at the moment. This is where it's difficult when you're such a young squad, just to see the storm through.
Pace punches that one away. Williams on the volley. Dos Santos right at Pace.
Yes, a wonderful ball from Williams on the second phase of the corner, comes out to him. He just feels it back into the box. Dos Santos makes a run from deep. The back three don't track him. They're all ball watching. They're not watching where Dos Santos is. I think Dos Santos would like that one back, just misses it completely. Great quality from Williams.
In the last 5 minutes, Ottawa has ratcheted up the intensity.
Important free kick drawn from Uccello. TFC2 can just take a little bit of sting out of the game. Just going back to the age one, I think that's a philosophy of the club, being an affiliate to the first team, that they're trying to develop young players, and I think that's the mandate from Jason Bent, to try to get players into the first team, players like Raheem Edwards. Whereas for the Ottawa Fury, they want to win the league. They want to get into the playoffs. Previously in the NASL, they'll have a...
James trying to find Spencer, and the two failed to connect.
You know, with this group of players and names in this Ottawa Fury team sheet, I think if they don't get into the playoffs, it'd be a disappointing season. It was an impressive showing in the Canadian Championships against TFC. They beat Edmonton to get there, but I think a minimum requirement for the quality out there for the Ottawa Fury is to get into the playoffs. They're in 9th, one spot out.
They lost 2-1
red line.
Lost 2-1 at Louisville last week, and that knocked them out of the Eastern Conference playoff picture. And a draw the week before against New York. Just 2 wins in their last 5 games. And 1 in their last 4. James for Campbell. We saw 1 minute of added time. We're nearly through that now.
Brian James just plays a little bit safe and simple for me there. He's got the qualities. He's a wonderful footballer in midfield. Ben Spencer made another great run in behind. Just feel it in behind with this wind. It's definitely going to hold up.
So a week ago, at this time, we'd seen 4 goals already, and it was 2-2 heading into halftime. A little bit of a different story tonight. 0-0 is our scoreline after 45 minutes, Terry.
I think it's been a real intriguing contest so far. Both teams have been very well organized, especially defensively. Both defenses aren't giving either team too much. I thought in the last 5-10 minutes, the Ottawa Fury just raised their tempo a little bit. They were very good down the left-hand side. I thought Campbell caused some problems. Dos Santos, of course, is a handful up front. But for TFC2, they need to try to get Telfer Endo involved in the game. Endo's hardly had a kick. He's been a little bit frustrated out there so far.
22 beautiful degrees here in Vaughan, just north of Toronto, and we have no goals after the opening 45 minutes. Toronto will have the wind at their backs in the second half. Will that be enough to get them on the board and 3 points? More when halftime continues here from Toronto. Sun setting to our northwest, setting up for an excellent finish to the evening here in Toronto. Welcome back inside. Matt Antonio here with Terry Dunfield. As mentioned, 0-0 at the half. Toronto and Ottawa in the second of three meetings between these two clubs this season. Terry, we talked about him a little bit through the first half. 16, soon to be 17-year-old Julian Dunn looking very good in his first start.
I think he's been very impressive. I think Dos Santos is an absolute handful up top. He's also got Campbell down the left-hand side coming from outside to in, and I think he's handled the occasion very well. He hasn't been overwhelmed at all. I think defensively he's read the game well, and then playing out of the back, I think he's been comfortable. He's rarely given it away. He's shown a nice range of passing, whether it's playing simple into Campbell or looking to try to get it into Spencer up top.
Let's take a look at the highlights from that opening half, and it was tilted towards Ottawa in that opening 45. As we see their first opportunity here.
It took a little while for either team to carve out an opportunity. I thought the defenses were on top, but Howarth caused all sorts of problems just in between the line of the defense and the midfield. Nice little back heel to him to pick out Bruno. Bruno doesn't quite get enough on that one there, Matt. Roseboom's passing's been good. Nice little ball through the lines again, picks out Howarth, and watch this little reverse pass through the legs of Dunn. And unfortunately for TFC2, the Ottawa Fury players come together.
We're going to see, I think this is the disallowed goal here on the offside.
Yeah, I think he's just half a yard offside. Doesn't need to be, just needs to time his run a little bit. Another nice little ball through the two center halves, and Dos Santos, if he just angles his run a little bit more, for me, he stays onside.
Toronto's best opportunity tonight, set up by Ryan Telfer for Ben Spencer.
Telfer does really well along the byline, just bundles past the Ottawa Fury fullback and just doesn't quite have the quality to pick out Ben Spencer. If he picks Spencer out there, he's got to tap in at the back post. Good hold-up play here from Dos Santos, finds Campbell in behind Dunn, probably the only time they got in behind Dunn, and Bruno just lacks that little bit of composure, which he does have, just lashes at it and then pulls down Liam Fraser.
And Mark Pace making a couple of sharp saves, diving to his right here.
Real important save with no player on the post there on the corner kick. Real athletic save, pushes it away. More brave, positive goalkeeping from him, punches it away. Some real important clearances off the corner kicks from Pace.
He might have to be Toronto's most important player in the second half. Certainly was in the first half. What are the adjustments Toronto needs to make, and what will Jason Benton have in mind for this second half?
I think overall, other than the last 5 minutes, he'll be happy. It's been difficult for them. They were playing into a little bit of a tornado. It was difficult to sort of play balls in behind, and at times their lines were a little bit too close to each other. Ben Spencer was coming into midfield. I'd like to see Endo try to get involved, whether it's pulling out wide to try to create overloads with Telfer on the left-hand side, or whether it's running in behind Spencer if Spencer comes into feet.
It'll be interesting to see how the wind at the back of Toronto here in the second half will impact the game at all. It should only be able to help them as they push for that opening goal and hopefully 3 points. Halftime continues in Toronto.
Built the USL into the largest Division II professional soccer league in the world. And now the time has come to announce USL Division III, America's professional third division league, completing the U.S. pro soccer landscape. It's time for your town, your team, your game. D3 will fuel local pride and local passion, creating a new legacy for the beautiful game and inspiring its tribal following across the country. This is professional soccer, built on a disciplined financial model and operational excellence, featuring exciting venues to thrill fans, in hungry new markets yearning for the game. USL Division III, professional, passionate, proven. Pro soccer starts here, coming in 2019. For more information, visit USLD3.com.
Here's your check.
Oh, you got it. You know, since I got rid of my car, I really enjoy walking.
Hey,
God, no.
Getting pulled over for buzz driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates.
Oh, you're home early.
You live with your mom?
That'll set your game back a few years. Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
The 2017 USL season already has been one for the record books, with major new names including Phoenix Rising FC's Didier Drogba and Omar Bravo, and the Tampa Bay Rowdies' Marcel Schaefer adding to the excitement as the league continues to raise the level on and off the field.
United Soccer League, Oklahoma City Energy taking on the Sacramento Republic FC. You make the top play, we will find you. Check out Miguel Gonzalez.
Pittsburgh Riverhounds versus Toronto FC. Victor Sudo drills the rocket upper right corner. This is the only goal in the game. Riverhounds win at 1-0.
San Antonio FC and the Tulsa Roughnecks. 4th-minute scoreless game. Chris Turpak in the box falls down. Doesn't prevent him from scoring.
This is from USL. FC Cincinnati made some news earlier in the week as they made it to the next round of the U.S. Open Cup. And how about this goal by Andrew Weidman? He does all the heavy lifting. Boom, boom, boom. Smack. Game ends 2-2 against Charleston Battery.
Rowdy's taking on the Richmond Kickers. His cross, header blocked. DeShorn Brown. Look at DeShorn in great position, finishing with the scissor kick.
The thrilling action on the field has been seen by record levels of support in the stands. New facilities like those in Rio Grande Valley and Phoenix have welcomed fans to new, exciting eras for both clubs, while fervent support for clubs like the Richmond Kickers, Tampa Bay Rowdies, San Antonio FC, Louisville City FC, and Sacramento Republic FC has put the league on course for total attendance of more than 2 million this season, a historic high. Sacramento has been at the forefront of the rising competition too, with Republic FC's victory against Real Salt Lake sending the side into the round of 16 in the Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup for the first time. Ottawa Fury FC's arrival in the USL has been marked by a remarkable victory against Toronto FC in front of a passionate crowd at TD Place in the Canadian Championship, while the second highest crowd in Open Cup history, 32,287 fans, saw FC Cincinnati earn a thrilling penalty shootout victory against the Chicago Fire to advance to the quarterfinals. As the season reaches its halfway point, the USL has never been stronger.
First half stats between Toronto and Ottawa. Toronto with the bulk of the possession at 55%, but 0 shots to 7 for Ottawa, Terry.
Yeah, I'm not surprised by this possession stat. Ottawa are a team that don't look to play their way out of the back. They do go from back to front very quickly. What they did do as the half grew on is they started to come into the game a little bit. There was a fury of corner kicks, and in the end, TFC2 are hanging on a little bit for halftime. With the change of direction, I think the wind behind TFC's back will make a big difference in the second half.
We've talked about how this is an all-Canadian matchup, and it's the second of 3 this season. First season that Toronto and Ottawa are playing each other, as we mentioned, it was previously Montreal. Having played in these types of matches, is there anything special about playing another Canadian opponent, or is it just another date on the schedule?
No, 100% there is. That was the first fixture I'd look for when they came out in the MLS. When are we playing Montreal? When are we playing Vancouver? And this really is the Battle of Ontario today. They're playing for bragging rights, not only for points in the league, but yeah, you want to say, you know what, I am the best team in Canada. It's also a good gauge for the first team as well, because they've played this Ottawa Fury team, and this is a good team. They beat them in the first leg, and up until just before halftime, until Greg Vanney changed his system a little bit, Ottawa were doing very well at BMO. So for these young players, it's a real platform tonight to say to Greg Vanney or to Jason Bent and the coaching staff of the first team that, you know what, I am ready if I'm called upon for the first team.
And if you can score the winning goal in an all-Canadian matchup, is that the highlight of your season, maybe?
I think for these young players, doing well and winning and scoring goals in the USL is very important. But really, at the end of the day, they want to progress to the first team, and that has to be their goal.
But you know a thing or two about game-winning goals in an all-Canadian matchup, right? I think we have, roll it, Kyle, if we've got it.
Oh, here's a surprise.
Terry Dunfield at BMO, game winner against the Whitecaps. And check out this celebration.
Oh, I remember that like the other day.
Where are you going?
I celebrated for like 2 weeks after this.
Couldn't get the jersey over your head. Couldn't execute the dive properly. You just took a barrel roll.
I ran out of gas there.
I'd
been in the gym.
You ran half the
I
park.
couldn't get the shirt off. I did seriously celebrate for like 2 weeks after that. For all the viewers watching that don't know my career, I played in Europe, but came back, and I played for my hometown team, the Vancouver Whitecaps. I was traded, fortunately, to Toronto and loved my 3 years here. And in the 93rd minute in one of the league games, I think Torsten Fring scored a bank shot off my head into the top corner. And what a moment that was for me and for the club. We were struggling a little bit at the time, and for every point we earned, we really had to work for it. And that brought a big smile to my face. Thanks, Kyle, for that.
Don't thank Kyle. I found that.
Oh, thanks, Matty boy.
Was that your first goal for TFC?
I think I might have scored one in the Champions League, but that was my first in the league for TFC.
And
brilliant.
Like you said, 93rd minute, game winner, 3-2 victory over your old team.
We were winning and playing quite well, and Maddox, he leaped over top of our keeper to make it 2-2 at 90 minutes, absolutely deflated the team, BMO, and then we get a lucky corner. I don't even think it was a corner, and fortunately enough, was able to execute.
If I remember the date correctly when I was pulling that up.
We don't need to go there with
July
that.
23rd. I was just going to say we're nearly at the anniversary.
Oh, I thought you were going to go with the year.
I could. We'll see how the second half goes. If you're not nice to me, I'll tell everybody what year that was. But July 23rd, they can go look it up if they want. I'm sure there's not too many...
Nice music,
Toronto,
by the way. Did you put the
Vancouver?
music on
No,
that too?
I just found it. All the production was, our producer Kyle Hall and all the talented men and women in the truck that make us look and sound so good. We're back underway here. Glad we found that. It was good filler until the second half started.
What? You calling that filler? Oh, I got to be nice to you. Sorry.
I can call you worse things, Terry. Toronto and Ottawa scoreless as we begin the second half. And thank you, everyone at home, for indulging us in that trip down memory lane. And hello to all of our friends watching in Ottawa as well. I have very fond memories of the city. Spent 4 years there during my university days, attending Carleton University, so always fun to see a Toronto-Ottawa matchup for me. My hometown against my second hometown.
Perfect. Oh, no.
There's a cross in, and Brunette not able to run onto it, and Pace will snatch it up.
Good run from Williams to get in behind, and he plays that ball in behind the back three, just ahead of Pace. Pace can't come from that. DeSantos has to gamble. If he gambles, he's got to tap in there.
Cello plays back for Dunn.
Just needs to time his run. Great ball into Ben Spencer. You can't run past him. You need to wait till Ben Spencer secures it to then make your run from deep.
Frazier. Endo. Boscovich. Cello, Boscovich. Temperature has dipped quite a bit. It was a scorcher earlier today, up in the high 20s here. As that sun sets, it's gotten considerably cooler. Weather app tells me it's 22 right now, but it feels chillier than that.
Yeah, it's funny. Good point. I've noticed the pitch, a little bit of dew setting onto it, which will speed the play up a little bit. It's a little bit slow and sticky, the AstroTurf.
Terry has wisely pulled on his sweater. I did not have the foresight to bring extra layers tonight.
Yeah, the breeze has died down a little bit as well. It's not quite as windy.
So the advantage of having the wind at their back in the second half is lost for Toronto. Dos Santos coming down awkwardly on that left foot, already dealing with a bit of a knock to the knee, and that left leg just continues to take a beating. Telfer. Telfer powers his way forward. Ryan Telfer heads right at Del Campo and wins the free kick.
Yeah, if he's going to book Dante Campbell in the first half, I think that has to be a booking there. If the referee, David Barry's going to be consistent. Great change of pace from Telfer to break through the lines with the ball. I thought it opened up nicely. Uccello had made a good run. If he just would have got his head up to play it across the pitch into the path of Uccello.
He does not bring out the yellow card for Del Campo. But at least once a game, we see that from Ryan Telfer. Just puts his head down and attacks the defensive line. James Dunn. Should note no substitutions were made on either side at half.
A lot of bodies over there. Dunn just needs to realize that. Just put his foot on, come out, try to find one of the holding midfielders, maybe Liam Frazier, look to play out the other way. Dante Campbell does well for him there to earn a throw-in.
Campbell. That takes a deflection off Bruna. Will be another throw.
Again, just the little details. Uccello fires that ball back at Dante Campbell. He just needs to set him so he can whip the ball into the box.
That takes a deflection off Andre Campbell and cleared by Ottawa. Dos Santos for Howarth. Nifty bit of footwork there. And they're able to bring it to the near side with McElhaney.
McElhaney played his football before coming to the Ottawa Fury in the Irish leagues. Matty.
McElhaney on the near side. Into the middle for Roseboom. McElhaney again.
Good press from TFC too. Roseboom does well to just play a little ball around the corner to play out of the pressure.
Uccello gets tangled up with Howarth. Howarth wins the free kick, takes it immediately. Bruna, loft forward looking for Dos Santos. Tainter goes up, heads that away. Now Howarth on the giveaway from Frazier. Dos Santos for Howarth, unable to control cleanly. Campbell and Howarth. Campbell wins it.
I know TFC2 want to play their way out of the back most of the time. There's sometimes you just need to put your foot through it. Liam Frazier took it well on his chin. Tries to force it into Brian James a little bit. Just sometimes put the ball up the pitch.
A little bit of a late call there as Ryan Telfer draws the foul. He came together with Ryan Williams. And the Ottawa sideline not pleased with that call.
You can hear the ex-Liverpool legend goalkeeper Bruce Grobler South African accent. He's going nuts. A little bit of a soft one, I thought. Telfer just wasn't quite sure what was around him. Maybe enough contact, not to contradict myself, to call the foul.
Here's James. Endo as that roll through his legs. Telfer away from Dixon. Telfer into the area, tangled up with Jamar Dixon, and it's out for a Toronto corner.
Some more great direct play from Telfer. Dixon's going to try to win it. He has to win it. Telfer just skips past Dixon, eludes the first tackle. He's able to get a head of steam up now. He's coming straight at the big center half. McElhaney goes past McElhaney. Another touch there. If Telfer just beats Dixon to the ball, it's a penalty all day. Dixon does well to get back in.
Uccello plays low for Endo. Now Uccello swings in, and it's right to Callum Irving.
Yeah, too soft. I like it. I like the short corner. Nice 1-2. He just needs to wrap that ball into the back post. Ben Spencer got himself in between Eddie Edward and Del Campo.
A little surprised that it's still Uccello taking those set pieces and not Endo.
A little bit. I thought Endo's quality on the set pieces when he's played for TFC2 has been excellent. He's got a couple of clubs as well. He can drive the ball into the box and also whip it.
Uccello wins the free kick, and the Ottawa bench goes ballistic again. And the fourth official, Yusri Rudolph, fourth official we often see working as an intermediate, a peacekeeper, trying to make sure that the Ottawa complaints are heard. Meanwhile, Jamar Dixon gets a talking to from referee David Barry. James plays quickly for Frazier. Over for Dunn. Frazier, James trying to back for Frazier. Comes to Tainter. Boscovich. Telfer swarmed by white jerseys. Dixon back for Irving. And this one, when it finally does come down behind the Ottawa bench.
At the moment, the Fury are working very hard defensively. Once it sort of bypasses their front players, they're pressing TFC2 very, very aggressively, and there will be fouls. TFC2 just need to have that picture in your head when the ball comes into you. When teams are pressing you high, know where that pass is going to go before the ball comes into you. Telfer just dwelled on it a little bit. He sort of took his touch mat and then thought, okay, what am I going to do with it now? Instead, he already has to have a game plan in his head when that ball's rolled into him.
Boscovich will send this all the way back for pace. And plays that over the head of Boscovich.
Yeah, Pace just changed his mind. He looked up to hit Ben Spencer and thought, you know what, I'm going to try to play out. I'm going to try to hit Bosco. Just got caught in the wind. I like the idea of it. Might have been better going up to Ben Spencer, a little bit safer.
A lot of yelling from the Ottawa sideline on that play.
Yeah, they've come out, they've tried to really take the game defensively to TFC2, really press high, really get after the game, take the game by the scruff of the neck, whereas in the first half defensively, they just sat back into their shape, a little bit like what they're doing right now.
Brian James links up with Campbell. This takes a deflection, comes for Howarth. And Williams. Williams plays it into McElhaney in some space. Telfer gets a foot in there and steals it away. McElhaney goes down, nothing called. Trying to find Telfer. There's Endo. Endo playing in for Spencer, and it's taken away.
Roseboom does well on Spencer there, but Spencer, he tries to flick it around the corner. Just get your body in front of Roseboom, hold it up, be strong. He's 6'4". big man up top. Sometimes you need to sort of absorb that pressure, take a tackle for the team. I know it wasn't the best ball from Endo into his feet there, but sometimes take that contact. Good movement from Donte Campbell there. Just brought Campbell inside to create a little bit of space out wide.
Telfer pulls that down for Endo. And Toronto's won the free kick. He's called it with Endo in possession. I think it's because the yellow card is coming out.
Poor refereeing from David Barry. I know he wants to book him. He doesn't have to book him right away. Endo's in a fabulous position. Let them play. It's definitely a foul and a booking. Play advantage there.
Yeah, I thought the same thing. It's a little odd. Endo was working right across the edge of the area with some space to work.
Coming onto his sweet right foot as well. Had a little bit of space to operate. At least let the play develop another couple of seconds before you bring it back. I think he's a little bit too keen to get that yellow card out.
Also, look, Telfer was still down. Perhaps he thought maybe an injury. Still didn't seem like a reason to whistle a dead there.
I know you're trying to look after the ref here a little bit, Matt, but unless it's a head injury,
Just trying to play devil's advocate.
He's got to let him play there.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. Uccello and Endo both standing over it, waiting for the signal from the official. Now they get it. Uccello runs past, Endo swings in, and it's met by Irving. And Tainter will let it bounce out for a corner.
Good ball from Endo. I like the shape on it. It had pace, it had whip to it. I just thought it was really positive goalkeeping from Irving. A bit like Payza in the first act. Comes out, gets enough on it. Difficult punching into the wind as well. The wind just sort of takes it out for a corner kick.
Cello plays it low. It's met by Dixon. There's a strike from James, and it's over. Fans, stay up to date on the latest USL news and information from around the league. Tune into USL Coast to Coast with Mike Watts, Mondays at 9 p.m. Eastern on Sirius XM FC Channel 85. Also, don't forget Sirius XM FC will air the USL Game of the Week. Please check uslsoccer.com for dates and times. That's chipped forward by Dante Campbell, and well off the mark, but good bit of pressure from the Fury.
Good idea from Ryan Williams after a good header from Dos Santos. Hits a long diagonal into space, just overhits it a little bit. Campbell does well. Both Campbells actually do well there. Campbell tracking back, Campbell trying to run in behind. Just gets away from him, his left foot there. Roseboom made a good run into the box from midfield.
Boskovic lets that run out.
We spoke about Dunn at halftime not being overawed by the occasion at just 16 on his full debut from the start. Just talking about another academy graduate from TFC, Boskovic. I think he's been excellent since coming, really do since coming into the side. I'll go as far as to say he surprised me with how consistent he's been. I always thought he had maybe a little bit of a lapse of concentration in his game, but I haven't seen that at all. I knew he was very comfortable on the ball, has a wonderful left foot, has a diagonal in the locker, reads the game well defensively.
It's brought a bit of stability to that left back spot here for TFC2 this season. So we've seen a number of players sort of cycle through. I think Jelani Peters was slated to have a good chunk of that playing time, the import, but he's out with injury, been out for over a month now. We saw Oyvind Alseth, who made his debut last month with the first team. And we've seen Brandon Onconi in that spot as well. An injured player for Toronto on the far side, I believe it is Dante Campbell, and it's a yellow card for Dante Campbell.
Yeah, Dunn tries to play it into the feet of Donte Campbell. Donte Campbell just beats his namesake to the ball. Campbell dives in, he just plays it around the corner. At least the ref's consistent with his yellow cards. Once you start booking players, unfortunately, he's going to have to book Campbell there as well.
So both Campbells have received the yellow card for a foul on each other. I was joking at the beginning of the night, well, half joking at the beginning of the night when we said that was going to be a matchup to highlight. The two of them have gone at it for the full hour that we've been going at it so far.
It's been a very good battle over there. It's been nothing. It's been the opposite of tomato soup. It's not been bland. It's been a very good. Oh, that's rubbish, isn't it? It's been a good battle over there. And you know what? I think that this is credit to Donte Campbell. The Campbell for the Fury is a very good player, and the fact that he's been able to stay with him, take him the other way as well, is a credit to his game and how he's developing.
I don't know what you have against tomato soup.
It's just kind of bland, isn't it? It's just one flavor all the way through.
So where do you rank cream of mushroom?
Just above. It's not like minestrone or...
Endo trying to win that away from McElhaney, but he gets a foot in there. And
a real important foot. If he doesn't intercept that, I think Endo's through. Sort of skips up off him. A tricky one off the turf as well. Good touch from McElhaney. Yeah, just talking about Alseth, another player who, a draft pick this year. He's come into the first team, made a couple of appearances on the recent road trip, played against Dallas, and then in the 3-1 victory over Orlando. I thought he was very good in that game. Very good defender in one-on-one situations in open space. I thought he got forward nicely from the right back slot. He's getting an opportunity with the injury to Stephen Beitashour. Absolutely got cleaned out in the Canadian Championship final by Fisher just before halftime. Went into the hospital. He's just come out of it with pancreas surgery. Might be out for a little while.
There's Campbell. Chipped in looking for Dos Santos. Gets a head to it and it's wide. Let's get another look at the chance for Dos Santos.
Nice move from Ottawa. When they try to play, it always comes through Bruna. Plays it into the path of Campbell. Campbell just cuts it back. Nice run from Dos Santos. It looks like it's going to be a free header. Boskovic does just enough. Watch Boskovic just go up for the header with Dos Santos. Just puts him off it. Possibly one Dos Santos might want back. Could have done a little bit better.
See Jordan McCrary there, getting ready to be the first substitute of the match.
Yeah, might come in for Donte Campbell. The yellow card might have something to do with it.
Here's Andre Campbell. And just to go back to Beitashour for a second, anytime there's a TFC player that suffers a lengthy injury absence, we have to wonder if we might see him here for a short spell. We saw Nick Hagland a bit last year when rehabbing from injury, and it's a possibility.
Yeah, I think
to see him here to get some minutes.
Oh.
Pace is up to the task there.
A little bit of
it. Nearly got in behind him.
Yeah, a little bit of a tricky one. Dunn's just shepherding it back, thinking Pays is going to come out. Ball doesn't quite come into the box to Pays. Bruna just nicks in front of Dunn. For me there, Dunn has to deal with the situation. Just get to the ball, clear it. Unless he hears a shout from Pays. If Pays isn't getting there, Pays has to communicate to Dunn away. He needs something from Pays. Pays could have been a little bit more vocal on that play.
Tainter heads forward.
Just going to the Beitashour one, I don't think you'll see him in playing for TFC 2. But yeah, we have yet to hear how bad or a timeline on the pancreas injury. And over 20, 25 years in football, I've never heard of a pancreas injury.
Frazier whips that in for Spencer. Gets one touch to it, slips. Frazier frees it up for James. On the near side for Telfer. Telfer to his right foot, trying to pick out Spencer, and it's knocked away by Del Campo. Another slip allows Brian James to gain possession. Chipping in, looking for Endo or Spencer. Not able to find either of them.
Just lacking a little bit of quality in the final third right now. TFC 2 are starting to get in some good positions. Just a little bit too predictable at the moment.
And the turf monster is rearing its ugly head down there as we've seen a few slips.
I think it's just the dew starting to come onto the surface as well. It's very soft and springy.
We're going to see the substitution here as Jordan McCrary comes in. It is going to be Dante Campbell who exits.
The 67th minute, coming into the match, number 46, Jordan McCrary.
So a 66-minute shift put in for Dante Campbell. Like you said, perhaps the yellow card playing into the decision to remove him here.
McCrary's a little bit more defensive-minded, more of a right back than Dante Campbell. Maybe it's to stop the threat of Campbell going the other way as well. Just nullify that a little bit. If I'm coming on against Campbell, I'm going to try to take him the other way. The last thing I want is him running at me or trying to run in behind me.
Roseboom. One touch from Dos Santos. Comes down for Campbell. Campbell looks across. Tainer knocks it away. Still in. Campbell crossed again. Takes a deflection off Dunn, out for a corner.
All comes from, it's a little bit disjointed, the front three in the midfield there. There's too much space for Roseboom to operate in. Center half midfielder, sorry, just able to step into that space. Just walks past Ben Spencer too easily.
Ben Spencer's had a little bit of a tough go of it tonight.
Yeah, I think he's been quiet in the second half. Was a little bit better in the first half.
Comes down for Williams. Cross deflected by Telfer. Telfer racing. Try and keep it in, but it'll be out for a throw.
He's had one of those games a little bit where he comes to feet and it's a little bit too tight, and then his teammates played in behind, and then when he tries to run in behind, players are looking to find him into feet. Definitely working hard. He's covered a lot of ground. He's trying to get involved. Sometimes, Matt, if this makes sense, you can over-try. Sometimes you just need to let the game evolve around you.
Yeah. Was not, I didn't mean to say he's playing poorly. Just, it's been...
I agree with what you said. I agree with your comment.
Difficult go for, like you said, teammates haven't made life easy on him.
He had a sort of half chance on the Uccello corner kick in the first half where he just pulled off of McElhaney, had sort of half a yard, didn't quite sit for him.
There's Campbell. Frazier, like he threw the elbow out there. We'll see if David Barry reaches into his front pocket again.
At the moment, any sort of contact David Barry's he's calling. Campbell's running at Frazier at full tilt. Frazier just gets his body in on Campbell. Campbell goes over. He's always going to go over there. Easy one for David Barry to call.
Well defended by Toronto in the first stage.
A couple of important headers tonight so far. Been very impressed with Mitch Tainer. Another one there.
Docampo, cross, looking for Bruna just over his head. Williams with an opportunity. Shot is blocked. Uccello clears up for Spencer. Spencer on an island, surrounded by nothing but white jerseys, and he loses it.
Again,
to
though,
Campbell.
It's a tough one. He is surrounded by jerseys there, but it needs to be big and strong and really hold that ball up. Good reaction from him to try and win it back, but which ends up TFC2 turning it over his work rate.
There's Telfer. Telfer in around Roseboom. Telfer with a shot. Didn't get a lot on it, left foot. Easy save for Irving.
Good pace and power again from Telfer. Great work ethic from Ben Spencer after losing the ball to hustle to try to win it back for the team. Ends up with the ball coming to Telfer, and again, he's really direct. Just doesn't quite hit it sweet enough. Good movement again from Howarth, and just playing off of Dos Santos. Good ball into him from McElhaney just finds another pocket of space.
Dos Santos. Bruna, and for Williams. I think he would have had an opportunity there if he would have let the ball run across his body onto his right foot. He tried to play it back to a teammate.
I actually like the idea. He made a great forward run. He's just looking to find his teammate. Just mishits it a little bit. Looks for that little set pass. Just overhits it.
Now trying to free Dos Santos on the left side. He throws a little bit of a shoulder into McCrary.
Yeah, a little bit of a late one.
And it's gone out for a corner as David Barry decides nothing wrong with that challenge.
TFC2 just coming under a little bit of pressure right now. Ottawa Fury picked up the tempo, some good movement up top. It's tough when you're such a young squad, Matt, when you don't really have a lot of veteran experience and leaders out there. When you're under the cosh a little bit like this right now, we need to put a couple of passes together.
Ryan James plays that over the head of Campbell for Uccello. Uccello!
He's done him.
Scores! Luca Uccello! A magnificent goal! Over the head of Irving, and Toronto has the lead!
What a goal. All comes from the Ottawa Fury corner kick. Great counter. What a ball from Brian James. Perfect weight on it. Uccello looks like he just doesn't have the pace to get away from Campbell. What a very creative finish. Wonderful technique. Just chips it over top of Irving in the net. Irving's never getting there. Something we might see from Vasquez in the first team. Real inventive play from Uccello. Realizes he doesn't quite have the pace to get away from Campbell, sees Irving off his line, and executes it perfectly.
Magnificent placement from Luca Uccello. His third of the season. And if I'm not wrong, that matches his total from last year.
Great break, very quick on the counter. Wonderful ball diagonal from Brian James. Puts it right into the path of Uccello, and the rest is history.
His third of the season. He did have 3 last year, so he's equaled his 2016 mark. And he's given Toronto the lead with a little over 25 minutes to play.
Real important goal.
Excuse me, a little over 15 minutes to play.
Sorry, Matt. Real important goal, though. TFC were just coming under a little bit of pressure there. They were bending but not breaking. Talking about the lack of experience out there, but the youthfulness, the legs to get in behind, ends up putting them up 1-0 up in front.
Boskovic making a run forward. Doesn't lead to anything. Pace out off his line to grab that.
We spoke about in the first half, Matt, Brian James' passes being a little bit safe, keeping the team in possession. This time he hits that killer ball in behind. Great vision and technique to be able to pick out Uccello.
Yeah, as great as the placement was of the goal, to see Luca Uccello streaking up that right side, stopped on a dime to get away from the defenders and played nearly a perfect ball. I think he got it over the head of Campbell and right to Uccello.
We spoke about, I touched on it, something maybe you see from Vasquez executing, that bit of awareness, imagination to see the keeper off his line. I should have said Michael Bradley, a little bit like his goal for the U.S. at the Azteca Stadium against Mexico.
That was a little bit more impressive, but along the same vein.
Just in front of the 100,000 people in a World Cup qualifier.
76 minutes. Coming into the match, number 11, Cito Sione. Subbing into the match, number 22, Jamar Dixon.
Jamar Dixon coming out. It is Cito Sione.
Good player coming on. He caused the first team some problems at BMO in the first half.
He's a team leader with 4 goals this season.
Clever player. Who looked to come in off the wing. makes some excellent runs. Just didn't have that final ball, that final product against TFC's first team. Had 2 or 3 good opportunities in the first half.
Dos Santos is whistled for the foul there, pushing the back. Second time tonight that Steven Dos Santos has put the ball in the net, only to have it whistled away.
Pretty blatant, that one. I think it's a push in the back of Liam Fraser. Liam Fraser does a good job just fronting Dos Santos, making it difficult for him.
Just under a quarter of an hour now. Good play by Boskovic. And Telfer for Endo. Boskovic. James. Fraser.
This is good from TFC2, just taking the sting out of the game. This will be a great test for them and how they're developing over the season. Can they hang on? Can they get over the line with a 1-0 win? What we've seen from Jason Bent and his philosophy so far, it's not just sit back and try to limp over that line. They always look for that second goal.
Left foot, left foot.
Telfer. Crossed in, snatched up by Irving. Eddie Edward having to peel himself off the turf. Howarth, bumped by Spencer. Foul. McElhaney. Edward. McElhaney again. For Roseboom. Howarth. Not sure they're going to call that on Brian James or Subasa Endo. There's a lot of moving parts there on that play. Let's get another look.
Yeah, we just have another look at it here. Roseboom picks it up. He didn't have a lot of options, so he decides to drive at the heart of the TFC midfield. Don't know if there's a whole bunch in it. I think it's Endo on Howarth. TFC2 did really well there to just condense and collapse that around the middle of the park, make it difficult to play through that middle of the park, through that direct game channel. Looks like Icam Andrews is getting ready to come on here, Matt.
It's not very well struck and easily handled by pace. That was Ryan Williams on the delivery.
Any strikes that go into the turf like that, the turf takes any pace out of the ball.
Soccer fans, Nike is an official sponsor of the USL. For more information, visit NikeSoccer.com. And it will be interesting to see Andrews come on. As you mentioned, shows Jason Bent going for a second goal. Andrews more of an attacking player than maybe some of the other options he has at his disposal.
Yeah, he's definitely a threat in behind. He'll be on a little bit of a high from scoring last week. Ben Spencer, been a little bit of a non-factor in the second half, if I'm honest. Looking a little bit leggy right now. Just give TFC2 some fresh legs up top. I'm assuming he's coming in for Ben Spencer. I don't know for sure.
Yeah, his first action in about a month. Can, I guess, sometimes be difficult to get the engines reared up again. Headed away by McCrary. Yeah, Terry, you always talk about, you know, that one goal can unlock your confidence. And that's what Andrews told me after the match last week, that finally scoring his first goal with the team after so many chances just made him feel a lot more confident playing.
Yeah, of course, it's brilliant. He's away from home. He's from Trinidad. He's in a completely different environment, country, and you know, he's come here to play football and score goals, and he did that last week.
And it is Ben Spencer who will be coming off.
Subbing out of the match, number 19, Ben Spencer. Ladies Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming out to the Ontario Soccer Centre for tonight's
Inside
match.
10 minutes now.
Attendance at tonight's game, 1,000.
And with Toronto in the lead, of course, we see the slow trot from Ben Spencer instead of the sprint to the sidelines to get the substitute on. So 2 substitutes used for Jason Bent.
Big last 10 minutes now for a real young back three. So far, they've held up to everything that the Fury have thrown at them. Fury now have pushed 3 players really high up the pitch. Can Mitch Tainter lead them through over the line now? Been very impressed with the right-sided center half done on his full debut. Hard to believe he's just 16 years of age. Talking about 16 years of age, what about Alphonso Davies for Canada last night? Scored 2. Looked electric for Canada against French Guiana. Won the first game of the Gold Cup 4-2. Will now face Costa Rica on Tuesday, then Honduras. US earlier today drew 1-1 in what looked a real hot game in Nashville against Panama. Sorry, Matt's just getting attacked by a bee right now.
No, I think it's the moth or something.
Oh, it's a moth.
It's a little late for the bees.
You need to toughen up a bit, mate.
Oh no, I didn't. I felt it on my arm and it was unexpected. Trust me, if it was a bee, you'd be doing the rest of the game by yourself. I'd be out of here. The joy of dealing with the elements up here at the Ontario Soccer Centre. Terry's talking a tough game, but now he's cowering, trying to keep his eye out for the bugs to stay away from them. Got his sweater zipped up all the way to his neck.
I'm not even joking. These are the biggest bees I've ever seen.
And Mark Pace plays that out, looking for Julian Dunn. Hits it. And this will give Ottawa an opportunity. Terry, just pretend they're not here. Here's Edward. Pair of substitutions look ready to come on for Ottawa, including Tucker Hume. Roseboom. Comes down for Howarth. Howarth still with it, and Julian Dunn muscles his way through to knock it away.
All comes from real tenacious play from Roseboom. Gets it into the box. TFC2 do really well to not give Howarth any room.
There's an opportunity, Dos Santos, and it rolls just wide.
Number 9 was offside, not him. Number 9 was offside.
I think the offside flag was up. We can hear one of the linesmen saying number 9 was offside.
I thought the back three for TFC2 do really well. Comes back to Bruno. They just come out a couple of yards, which meant Dos Santos was offside. Howarth just hacks it at it, just pulls the neck off the ball. Doesn't know Dos Santos was offside, but real brave defending from the back three. There's just over 5 minutes left in the game. The ball comes back to Bruna. It's important when the ball goes back that the defenders just come out, leave Dos Santos offside. It's easier said than done. They're brave. Just catch Dos Santos offside.
So the 2 substitutions for Ottawa. Tucker Hume in. And Ryan Williams out. Gerardo Bruna out. And Sergio Manesio in.
You'll see now the Fury go very direct. Try to get the ball into Tucker Hume up top. He'll be a real focal point to play off of right now.
Turned over in midfield by Frazier. Trying to find Andrews, couldn't thread the needle.
Have to keep the ball at this point of the game. You can't give it away cheaply. It's a way of killing the game, really taking, we said it earlier, taking the sting out of it. Tucker Hume, the big man up top. It's like an old-fashioned classic number 9, 6'5", 6'6", big boy.
This is Luca Uccello, who's down injured in midfield.
The Ottawa Fury player just follows through into him. Just catches him on his right leg, looks a sore one. I'm sure Uccello will be okay. The last thing the Woodbridge native is going to want to come off right now. Always has lots of family members and friends at games. I think after he scored, he ran over and celebrated with them. Great feeling.
Second consecutive game with a goal for Luca Uccello. Had a goal and an assist last week. As we mentioned, he was named a reserve on the USL Team of the Week. And will his goal stand up as a winner? Campbell with a push there.
McCreary does really well on the 1-2. Tracks the run of Campbell excellently, wins a free kick for the team. Just before that, direct free kick went into Big Tucker Hume. Young Dunn tries to win it. At times, Matt, when you come up against a big man who's so good in the air, it's okay to say, you know what, you're going to win that first ball. We'll pick up the second ball.
The USL is one of the most prominent second division professional leagues in the world, featuring some of the game's top talent and rising stars. Stay up to date with all the latest news and information from around the league by visiting uslsoccer.com and following them on Twitter at USL.
Clever from Telfer there, just to earn a free kick. Needless from Eddie Edward. He's got enough experience to not commit a foul there.
Should note in the final 2 minutes here, Jason Bent does have one substitution at his disposal if he wants to go to it, maybe in a time-wasting maneuver. 89th minute, injury time. It's not something we often see from Jason Bent.
A little bit rash from Bosco there. Just needs to keep his team in possession, try to play the ball into the corner, keep it.
Endo up for Andrews. Andrews being chased down by Roseboom.
Good hold-up play from Ikem Andrews there. Would have been easy to give the ball back to Endo there. He realizes where the space was, checked his shoulder.
Uccello. Andrews gets ahead to it. And Irving runs it down. McCreary. Uccello. And Uccello has won a corner.
That's good from McCreary and Uccello. Good game management from them. They don't need to get the ball into the box. Earns their team a corner. I'd be surprised if they put it in the box. Just keep it short. McCreary's done well since he's come on, Matt. It's not easy to get up to the tempo. Got the speedster Campbell running at you. He's matched him every step of the way. Good substitution from Jason Bent.
Another corner won here by Toronto as we creep towards stoppage time, and Jason Bent will use his third and final substitution. It will be Aiden Daniels. And the referee not allowing the substitution just yet. 3 minutes of added time indicated by fourth official Yusri Rudolph. Jason Bent hollering to the officials to be allowed to use the substitute, and finally he is granted. Daniels will come on for Endo, and this will be the long, slow walk for Subasa Endo. Referee David Barry will escort him and give him a word of encouragement to get there as quickly as possible.
He's definitely going to take his time to get off. We might need a little bit more fill, maybe get another goal of mine on. What do you think?
How many do we have?
All right, relax. We're not out already. He's not quite had the influence he has in previous appearances for me, but he's worked really hard for the team. really put a shift in. Hardly gave the ball away, but I was impressed with how hard he worked defensively.
Yeah, we saw him that 2-game stretch, June 10th and the 14th, the draw against Pittsburgh and the win against Orlando. Aiden Daniels, the substitute, trying to make an impact and wins a corner, nearly broke away for an excellent scoring chance.
He's very good at that. He definitely has a little burst from midfield. Great change of pace, another academy product. Played a fair bit last season. He's found it difficult to get into the team this year. He's been playing for TFC 3 and League 1 of Ontario. Making sure he gets some match minutes in for when his opportunity does come. Looked fit there.
Andrews whistled there. Ottawa will take it quickly. And I think David Barry wants to issue a yellow card. And the entire matches went to the other side of the pitch. Not sure exactly who he's called that on. We'll wait for the official announcement. It's Ryan Telfer, not Andrews. 3 minutes of time was added on. We are 70% of the way through it. Tainter goes up. And Toronto wins the free kick. And Ottawa is perplexed.
Yeah, Tucker Hume, he doesn't go up, he just holds his ground. Mitch Tainter sort of jumps through Tucker Hume. I think the fact that Hume didn't really go for the ball is why David Barry didn't give it. For me, I don't think it's a foul. I would have just let play.
Irving.
Pace has to find a corner there.
Here's an opportunity. Pace with a great save. Rebound is loose to Dos Santos. Dunn blocks it. Mark Pace with a game-saving stop.
Great save from Pace. This will be coming straight to Tucker Hume again. On that free kick, Pace has to put it into touch, has to go wide. Gives Ottawa a chance to put it into the box.
Irving lofts it into the area. It comes down. Who wants it? Still scrambling. Nobody can find a foot to it.
It's like a rugby scrum. This is incredible.
Finally, it's cleared. The full-time whistle is gone. And I think there might be another card here at the end of the game to Donte Campbell. That's his second. It's a red. He's been ejected at the end of the match and will be suspended. A wild, wild finish in Toronto. And TFC2 come away with 3 points. Let's get a look at that stop from Mark Pace.
All comes from Irving. He's got excellent distribution. Real straightforward, comes into Tucker Hume, a little bit of luck. Hume catches it on the half volley. Great save from Pace. A save he should make, pushes his rebound wide enough where Dos Santos can't get a strike off. He has to try to put it back into the box, and TFC are able to collapse in and around that 6-yard box. What a finish. Bad way for Campbell to cap the game off. I thought he was excellent today. He'll now be suspended, picking up his second yellow. He's sent off. Great quality on the winning goal. BJ picks out a surging Uccello. He has the imagination, the audacity to try a chip from 30 yards out. Executes it perfectly. Wins the 3 points for the young TFC2 side.
Terry, we saw a lot last season. The wild finishes here in Toronto, 85th minute and on. Lots of goals, big saves. Tonight, it's a massive save from Mark Pace and then an ejection at full time. Toronto comes away with the 3 points on the brilliant goal from Luca Uccello. Terry and I will be back to wrap it up right after this. We're back in Toronto. And the Young Reds are the first ever victors in the Battle of Ontario at the USL level after drawing in April. Toronto FC 2 coming away with a 1-0 victory tonight on a goal from Luca Uccello, his second in consecutive games, Terry. We mentioned him earlier in the broadcast. Works his socks off every night. Tonight he's rewarded with the winning goal.
He is. I'm so happy for him. He gets branded a little bit as a blue-collar player. He's competitive. He always puts a shift in for the team. But tonight we saw he's got another facet to his game. He can be creative. He's got an eye for the audacious. And what a goal it is. Great ball from Brian James. Excellent diagonal right into the path of Uccello. Uccello's quite clever. He's never going to run away from Campbell. Just picks his head up. He sees Irving off his line and chips it perfectly. Couldn't have hit it any better. And then runs into the crowd. What a feeling that is for the young Uccello.
On the defensive side, we talked about him coming out of the half. Julian Dunn. Happy early birthday, Julian. 17 he turns on Tuesday, gets his first professional start after his debut a week ago, and he was excellent again in that left back position. Top
Performance from him. Hard to believe he's just 16. He reads the game so well. He's athletic. He's a U17 Canadian international. If he plays like this, I'm sure he'll be involved in the Canadian full team. I thought he was very good. Mitch Tainer in behind him, the skipper, one of his best performances for TFC2. In Aubrey's role, he organized players around him well. And then on the left side, Boskovic, another performance. He's been so consistent this year, and Pace made some big saves when called upon.
Yeah, Mark Pace was fantastic, especially at the end. Makes that diving save to his left. Like you said, a save he needs to make, but he does make it, preserves the clean sheet. That's his third this season in just 7 games played. It's a 1-0 victory for Toronto. For Terry Dunfield and our entire production crew, I'm Matt DeNicolantonio. Thank you for joining us. Have an excellent Saturday night.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League may not be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the express written consent from the United Soccer League.